Hello and welcome back to Surly Tim's. Now in this episode I'm going to cover the movie The Wild Rebels from 1967. Rod, a less than talented race car driver, is offered a job opportunity when a local motorcycle gang is looking for a getaway driver. But it isn't until the police confront him, ask him for his help, and bring the criminals to justice that he's forced to endure their quest for kicks. The movie stars Steve Alaimo as Rod, who is a semi-successful musician with his band the Redcoats, and he also went on to help form Vision Records, which launched KC and the Sunshine Band to stardom. And although he went on to act in only 3 more movies that I could find, the 1972 film Stanley was the only one that was a commercial success. Next we have Willie Pastrano, who played Banjo, who at the time was a retired world light heavyweight champion in 1963 and was inducted into the World Boxing Hall of Fame in 1988. And after this film, he continued to work through several projects through the early 70s. John Vela starred as Jeter, the gang's leader, and went on to star in several movies, but his only big film was the walk-on role in More American Graffiti. Bobby Byers, as Linda, was a voice actress by trade, and most famous for voicing the lead role in Johnny Sacco and His Flying Robot, under the name Catherine Byers, but only appeared in a handful of projects in the early 70s following this. And finally, Jeff Gillen as Fats, the more successful of the bunch. He went on to appear in a dozen or so projects up until the early 90s, including Police Academy 5, Easy Money, and more famously in the role of Santa Claus in the 1983 cult classic A Christmas Story. As low-budget movies go, The Wild Rebels took me by surprise. The story, which was kind of a throwaway, was oddly compelling, but was still only mildly so I'm giving the writing a .5. The cast were oddly good, although the supporting cast drug down my rating to a .5. And this was one of William Grafke's earlier films, and was fairly competent for a director of these type of movies, which earned him a solid 1. Now, as the budget for this film was only $75,000, I couldn't locate the box office take. The production level of the film was unfortunately low, with location shots being poorly lit, the footage was hard to see, and the sound quality was poor. Now, that could be because the movie was not a restored copy, but it seemed to be more of a technical issue, and that was enough for me to drag this rating down to a 0. Now, my opinion of the film, I felt that it did not balance perfectly. The timing was pretty good, and it only fumbled the ball on a few occasions. The characters weren't completely wooden, and just interesting enough to make me care about them. But most of my issues came in the form of the mediocre music, poorly executed choreography, yes, there was a little dancing, and on a few occasions the main characters stumbled over the actor's performance. So I gave this one a .5, which means in a pinch this movie could make for a repeat offender and is added to the keep pile, which makes this movie an average film at 2.5. And that was The Wild Rebels from 1967. So thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.